like obviously foams take a little bit longer, but you have some angel.
$1 million is on the line, and it took me months to prepare for what's about to come next. So how did I get there? We come here a lot by boat as well. It's like over there you can see that they have docks that are floating in the water to park. It's just so packed because of Memorial Day weekend. It's also nice to sometimes have the days where you can not fully take time off, like we're meeting with the team in 10 minutes for the YouTube channel, but it's like being able to enjoy what you're doing while also getting the most out of what you're working on. What do we do the rest of the day? There's a new Planet of the Apes movie, which is supposed to be insane. So we're doing that. I'm gonna go back. I gotta answer emails, get ready for the investor calls for the rest of the week. But again, today's just about like enjoying the day. You spend so much time working, you focus all your time on making sure that everything's done. And this week was a grind, so I feel like we deserve some time to be able to just like relax and enjoy the day too. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's a holiday about remembering those who serve and lost their life serving. And I'm supposed to do a Murph on Monday, which is tomorrow, which is technically Memorial Day. It's a mile, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and another mile. But I'm in Canada, so I don't have access to a pull-up rack. So I decided to do 10.27 miles. And it's not just about the fact that I went on a run. This is where I talk a lot about the mindset change and everything. Last year, almost exactly a year ago today, I did the same run I did right now. I got to the halfway point and I gave up. I was there at 6:50 in the morning, 6:56 in the morning. I got to the halfway point, I called my mom, and I gave up. I got through just under 6 miles. And this time, I hit the same point, and I think of everything that I've been able to accomplish this past year. Not just because I was better, I had more, or I had some special ability. Because it's not that, it's not about that at all. Literally, the only thing that changed is the mindset that I had for who I want to be. And in doing that, this activity, another activity, like whatever it is, doing things that push you out of your comfort zone, push you to your limits, whether it's exercise, whether it's studying to get in a good school, whether it's building the business you want to build, whether it's anything. This is why I say all the time, it's about creating this reality in your head that literally nothing is gonna happen except exactly what you want to. And if you focus and sacrifice all of your time to get to that one thing that you're trying to accomplish, big or small. Today, it was getting through this run, making sure that I push myself to the limits every single time I go out and do something. That's what separates the difference between somebody who wants to get something done and somebody who did. If you're nervous about taking the first step in whatever it is, literally whatever it is, you can break this down and compartmentalize it into whatever you want. I mean, even like being a pro athlete. You want to be a pro athlete, you don't have the genetics for it, fine, work harder. You want to get into med school, you're an idiot, fine, study. You want to be an elite runner, but you're overweight, fine, start with a walk. Put yourself in out of your comfort zone. Put yourself in the shoes that you know you're going to be successful with. And in doing that, you're going to, over time, create this person who becomes accustomed more to not fearing failure, but being open to pushing boundaries and excited for new opportunities and new limits. Now, it is Memorial Day weekend, and I wanted to take a little breather, hang out with my family, because I don't get to see my grandparents as much, but we have a pitch set up in 3 minutes, and I wanted to make sure I got this run done, was ready to rock and roll, and was in the mindset of nothing's gonna happen except exactly what we want. And this is what I mean by it applies to every single thing you do. Because if you push the envelope little by little, a little becomes a lot. How's it going?
Great to meet you.
I'm doing well, it's a pleasure to meet you. We've raised $75,000 so far. We've built prototypes. We have our teams all around the world. So we ran into a little snafu with the website. I've been working with the team. The problem is that we're so efficient that we finished it. The problem is right now is we want to do 3D animations, right? So as you're scrolling through, it's gonna make these auto animations. And you have to use a different software than Figma. So we built a Figma out, and you have to export it in Dora. But then when you export it in Dora, everything gets messed up and it changes the entire orientation of what the website looks like, because we want to be able to move stuff as we're scrolling. So for example, here's how it looks right now. It looks awesome. You did a great job. That's gonna be the start. But again, as I always say, it's a tough situation right now, but problems are just solutions and steps. So we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling. All you have to do is just consult the right people who know how to do it, figure out the problem, and then you're on to the next thing. So by the way, check this out. That is an unbeatable view for Memorial Day weekend. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I gotta go figure out this website. So I'm back home now, setting everything up, hit an early CrossFit morning, met with the engineering team at 6 a.m. and now we have a meeting with one of our manufacturers in 5 minutes. We have a huge pitch for 100 grand that I think we're gonna be able to get. They were really impressed. It was from the video either 2 weeks ago or 2 weeks before that, and I think we're gonna be able to lock it in with these guys because for the first time we have somebody, a potential investor, who was really behind the idea that like we made content behind building the company and building in public. And it's supposed to be another meeting with these marketing guys as well. Like they said that they help people raise marketing, or they raise money from like crowdfunding and stuff. And I know a guy who raised a ton of money through these guys, but I booked yesterday. On the way home you guys saw that, and like they didn't even come to the meeting. So I don't know if I want to work with them. And then we have our engineering meeting tonight, but on vacation in the Adirondacks right now. And then circling back a little bit to the guy who said that I was supposed to meet with him Friday about an investment. He also just texted me and he was like, I'll give you a buzz later in the week if that's cool. So we gotta make sure that now we get an actual time for that meeting and have that all set and ready to go. The other thing is we're still having problems with the website. So that's something that we gotta fix. So I'm trying to follow up with our other engineering team to make sure that's all moving smoothly and we get the proposal for the amount of money that we need, like for the capital raise to finish the prototypes and get it in people's hands by the second week of July. I have to also work on making sure the website's moving smoothly because we run into a snafu with that when we export from one software to another software. So we got to make sure I fix that. Plus we have the fundraise, and plus I have to make sure that I'm staying on the other people who are potential investors as well, because we're looking to source that capital today because we need that to move along with product development. So it's a lot of stuff that's making sure we stay busy. I mean, that's never going to be a problem. We're always busy. It's finding like what is most important to dedicate your time and energy to is the biggest thing of optimizing your time and performance. So I need to get ready. I probably won't call this guy because I don't have any major updates on my end, but we have to prep for this pitch because we got to nail it. This 100K is so important. If we get this, it's going to be smooth sailing for us for a little bit. So let's rock. So now we're looking at optimizing and sourcing the tape material. So I'm trying different types. This is one, like it looks cool and it feels cool, but then once you put it on, it's not sticky and it's not the best. Then I have this as well, which is like specifically sourced and we make, if I can find it, this stuff, and it does not fall off, it does not go anywhere. So think of it like two tiny magnetic straps. They're like that big, and this is going to be longer across the entire head of the shoulder, and then you'll be able to just snap it right into place. The pod size might even be smaller, honestly, but also looking to potentially do this way. So now we're finalizing the sourcing material from the manufacturers in the United States, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. I mean, this stuff is stretchy as well, like 180 to 200% stretch one way, and then nothing this way. So this material is super cool. I try everything myself to make sure it's good. Then we test it with regulatory, make sure everything's good there. Then we launch. But until then, keep hammering. All right, we're meeting with this marketing company in 5 minutes. We still have to figure out the website stuff. It has been a pain in the butt all day, but slowly and surely we're gonna get there. It turns out the program that we're using was not able to do what we wanted to do. But I gotta get a call real quick. Hold on. Well, I appreciate it very much. I'm looking forward to working with you, and I will talk to you soon, all right?
Okay, likewise. Thank you.
You have a great day. Bye. Boom! Let's go! Sourcing from the best country to get quality textiles with the highest regulations possible, and they said that they can do exactly what we need. What a great way to end the night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Throughout the process of building the company, I've learned that if you want to go farther than others have gone, you have to be willing to do things that others have not. The one thing that people shy away from is confrontation. They shy away from asking questions. They shy away from, honestly, just having conversations in general. And that's something that if you want to raise money, if you want to bring on customers, if you want to be able to create this type of value to somebody else, you have to engage in conversations with somebody else. You have to be able to interact with people. You have to be able to connect with people and reconcile with people. You want to be annoying to the point where it's effective, not annoying to the point where it's a nuisance. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, so I have a list on Notion of every single person I've met since I started the company 4 years ago. I keep their name, what company they work at or own, what's the title of their company, what's their email, and where or how did I meet them. So I can go through and I check in with every single person I've met at least once every 6 months, just to make sure that they know that I am still valuing their time, their connection, their presence. And down the road, as you build these relationships, these people are gonna be more willing to do a favor. That's where I think that we've found the most success, is not being afraid to follow up with people, not being afraid to ask questions is another big one. Not being afraid to ask for favors, because the other really big thing, and I'm friends with some people who are worth over $1 billion, and it's like, people like knowing that they're valued. Like when you're asking somebody for a favor, most people think that they're just going to be annoying that person. Most people think that you're indebted to that person because they're doing favors for you. That's not how it works with the richer people. It's more along the lines of, like, when you ask somebody for a favor and they think of you as another person with high value, they're going to feel like they're doing something right, because, oh, if I'm in such a good position and there's somebody else who's also in such a good position but still needs my help, then it's going to be reciprocated as respect and trust. Laser focus on the problems that you know you can solve, and doing everything you can to get the best people around you to solve those problems in the most efficient and effective manner to ensure that they get done to the highest quality. Because if you're making something that's not the highest quality and you're not talking to people about what problem it's going to solve, and you're not able to execute on that because you don't do either one of the first two things, then you're not going to build a successful product. You're not going to build a successful business, because nobody's going to want to buy it, and you don't have the best people around you to build it. So we just met with my legal team to go over a contract, and everything was good, which is awesome. No major changes. And I'm supposed to be pitching right now, but in the invite he sent over, there's no link. So we're in a good spot. I don't like when these get messed up. Didn't give me a phone number. All right, so we got rejected by Y Combinator this morning, which was, I mean, it sucks, but like at the end of the day, we didn't lean in on the heavy AI component, and that's what they really are looking for, so it makes sense. But I was gonna say, it's funny because the first videos that I shot of the Lectra files for this series of 2024 was me applying to Y Combinator at a coffee shop, and I got coffee this morning. And then in addition to that, we got another response from the manufacturer of the acrylic glue that we needed, giving an entire breakdown of all the glue. So that was awesome. I got a follow-up from a textile company in Germany that wanted to talk to us, and then a follow-up proposal from our manufacturers as well. So everything is moving smoothly. We just need to close that other $10,000. So I got a response from one of our investors, and he was like, hey, my wife's been traveling, I'll follow up on the stuff and get everything done. Things are just a little bit hectic right now. So we really need to make sure that we can lock in that other 10K, because I'm gonna be halfway to the 20,000. And then the investor from Switzerland, when I was doing the video at the water, I followed up with him, and he was like, we got the response, we'll get back to you by the end of the week with follow-ups and everything. So that's what's hard about this too, is it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of, like, you do housekeeping, and in the meantime, while you're doing housekeeping stuff, you're doing contracts, you're signing agreements, you're talking to people, trying to figure out the dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So this is good though, because now it means that we got all these responses, so I can meet with my attorneys, go over all the contracts, go over everything, and then once I sign it, they'll start working now. And like, we have money to be able to pay them, so we can at least get something rocking and rolling and ready to go. But then we also can talk about equity agreements, where it's like, okay, it's going to cost this amount to do it outright, but if we do small equity agreements, like vesting agreements, where it'll be like based off milestones, the equity would vest, and then if they don't hit the milestones, we can have a cliff where we claw back what the equity would have been. So it's kind of a win-win situation for us. But I need to get back and look over all this stuff and make sure we're all good. All right, so we just got into New York last night. I don't know if you can see it. You guys will see it in a minute, but we got in last night. I just met with my engineer from overseas. We met with the engineers, and then I'm gonna have to show the entire ground. I'm meeting with my head of science, and then I have a pitch today at 11 a.m. We're supposed to be hearing back from one of our investors as well. And then we finished the newsletter. So you guys are gonna get a sneak peek right now. Let me pull it up real quick. So check this out. So this is the June edition.
Hey, Jay.
I'm doing good. How are you? We're gonna have our first like fully wireless prototype done.
I'm interested in what you're building. Like I said, it is a little early on our front, but with that being said, I want to stay in touch. Like I said, I do have resources.
There we go, that's how it's done.